Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. We are back for part two of talking about boundaries, love, speaking your truth, and all things growth, mindset, maybe a little spirituality. We'll see.
Yeah, and sometimes I get pissed. I'm like, I don't want to be creating all the time. Please, just like wish it would. But it is true. Like whatever. This is why at the end of the day, the more you feel good. I mean, you're attracting things that are aligned with that type of energy you're feeling the most. So if you're majority of your time you're negative, this is when you're like, oh, I don't have luck. I'm like, no, you're just majority of your time you're spending it in a low vibrational energy. But you see these people, they're like, oh, I'm winning this and I got this opportunity, I won this. Or you're like, oh, they're so lucky. They just spend more time in that positive, higher frequency. And it's not like they're lucky necessarily. And I feel people that are lucky, they're just lucky a little bit, like all the time. And they're usually positive. Like I never seen someone that's really lucky and they're just sad all the time or negative.
Yeah, same. Because what you focus on grows. And so if you focus on the good, more good will come. If you focus on the good, more good will come into your life. If you focus on the negative, you will manifest more and more negativity. It's the law. There's 7 universal laws. I think there's more than that now, but there's quite a few universal laws, and that is one of them.
So one thing I remember reading from Abraham Hicks that I really stick to me is always like, she has this terminology of the ladder of emotion. So she's like, if you're just feeling like terrible, what's the closest emotion that's above the terrible? Maybe you're just trying to feel neutral. So you're just sitting there like, this is already a better feeling emotion. So you can't really jump from I'm feeling terrible to I'm feeling amazing. Like you have to really like climb this ladder. So sometimes like what really helps me is like if I'm feeling really low, I'm like, I just sit there and I just accept it and I try to calm down and just be there. And that already feels like less fighting it, right? And then from there you're like, if you were really mad about, I don't know, you broke up, someone, left you, and now you're just, maybe from depression, you go into anger. And maybe being angry kind of help you. Whatever emotion, it just starts to slowly like move that energy until maybe you start feeling slightly more positive about life the next day because you're like, you know what? It's not a big deal. I'm still breathing. I'm still living. I'm still on this earth. Nothing is a big deal. And then that climbing of the emotion really always helped me thinking like that. Because there have been times where I was like, I'm not happy right now. How do I just switch it? I can't,
Right. Like everyone says, don't be negative. Don't be negative. Well, what do I do when I'm feeling low?
And I just,
yeah.
And sometimes the best feeling is accepting the negativity that's there at the moment and then
not fighting it. Because what you resist persists. And so I'm really glad that you brought that up because that's another very important topic when we're speaking into manifestation and positivity. There are going to be times when life lifes you. There are going to be times when life is hard as shit and you feel like shit. And if you ignore those feelings, they're going to persist. If you stuff them down, they're going to pop up. So allow yourself to sit in it. Allow yourself to feel it. It's normal. Okay. It's normal to feel that.
And the best part is they don't last.
Don't last.
The emotions eventually move and change. You can be feeling sad for a long time, but eventually, if you're patient enough, good moment never lasts forever. Well, bad one either. So eventually, after the rain comes the sun. It's something so simple, but I
nature's cycle.
Try to remember that too. When you are going through something, it will pass. It always do. Boundaries relate to this because if you don't express your needs,
you have boundaries with yourself.
You're gonna feel like shit. I mean, you go back to feeling negative, and you're like, "Why do you feel negative?" Because I'm unable to speak up. Well, then that's right there a reason why you're feeling negative. Sometimes you don't have to look so far. You are not speaking up. You're not being true to yourself and honest to how you feel.
Yeah, and something that I believe in, and I know not everyone's gonna agree with me, but I feel that boundaries are for yourself. People are like, oh, I need to set boundaries with Joe Schmo because he keeps doing XYZ. Actually, are you doing it for him or are you doing it for you? So I personally feel that I set boundaries for myself. Yes, it involves another specific person and another specific situation, but I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it because this girl keeps taking advantage of me or my work keeps doing this. I'm doing it for me. So I would love for you to share with the audience, Sofia, how you got to where you are today and What are your 3 biggest lessons that you wish you knew at the start?
Okay. I got to where I'm today. Well, first of all, a little, summary, short. I'm from Italy. So I moved to the States when I was 21. And that was the catalyst to a ton of changes. And
The start, the
yeah,
catalyst, the birthing.
that was just the start of it all. The fact that I took that one trip was really like a huge change for my life, because at the time I was in Italy and I was in a funk and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I finished school, I started university, I didn't want to do it. I was really not in a good place. I did not feel like I was belonging. I just wanted to get out and explore. And just the fact that I went on that plane, I remember like I was super scared. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was going to just go and stay 1 month in the States to study.
That's what happened to me with Miami. I just came here for 1 month.
And that translated in 18 years. But so I took that chance, that trip by myself. I just went. And I mean, of course, sometimes I think about like my parents were supportive because they saw me that, didn't know where to bang my head anymore. I was like, okay, she needs to kind of go. And for them, it was a little scary because they didn't know. They knew I could have not come back because if I liked it. And so they took it on it, and they were very supportive. So for me, what really helped that was a supportive family. That I was lucky with that. And then they just kind of let me do it, let me go and explore by myself. So I think that was one thing, the trip to the States and to Miami. And then, yeah, I did a lot of things to stay here. As in, I went to school, and at some point, my parents were like, you kind of got to come back. It was already 5 years that I was here, and I was like, I don't want to come back. How am I going to do it? So I started working, and I started working in nightclubs, and I started like, traveling to Las Vegas and trying to figure out like a way to stay. And I was lucky enough to, eventually get married, and was with a wonderful man for a few years. Several years. I was so blessed to become a citizen, and eventually this became my home. But there was a lot of like obstacle along the way. When you're like not from here, it's very intense. The process of changing your papers, getting so it's a whole ordeal. And then the fact I didn't have money because my parents were not supporting me anymore on the journey, because they were like, now you're on your own. You want to stay there. You got to figure it out. So there was a lot of that, but what really helped me is I don't know what it is, when you're younger, sometimes you have this like a little bit naiveness around you that you just kind of like believe that you're going to do it, you're going to make it. So I was really never terrified of not making it. I kind of like felt like, you know what, I want to do this. I want to live in the States. I want to become, my own business. I want to have my own business. I want to be a coach. I want to be doing fitness. And then I got into pole dancing, and then I got into flexibility, and then I got into contortion. I got a great coach. Things just started aligning, but at the time I didn't know about manifestation at all. I remember that things worked. Now I know why they worked out the same way, because I was just trusting. I was just excited around it.
She was trusting.
Yeah, I was trusting, and I never really felt extremely scared. There were situations where I was worried, like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? Like, I have $50 in my account, and
it sounds like you really followed your heart and what you enjoyed doing.
I only did what I really like to do. Like, I kind of follow the things that I enjoy doing. Like, I enjoy dancing. I enjoy training. I became a personal trainer. I started teaching pole dancing. I was dancing in nightclubs. Like, I kind of was like, I want to make money and work in a way that is maybe a little bit unconventional, but I just feel like I cannot live otherwise. I was like, I cannot. I worked for a company, for like a gym company, like a big corporate. I lasted 4 months. I was like, I'd rather literally find another way, whatever it is. I created my coaching business, my brand, Bendy Life, my training, brand and lifestyle that I've been, repping for several years. I was very lucky with that. Lucky because I created it. I like it because I follow what my intuition was telling me. I really did without knowing at the time.
Right. It's like maybe in the moment you thought it was luck. I mean, I don't know. I'm not
lucky
you.
Because things aligned, but I know behind it was me.
It was you and whatever it is that you believed in at the time, and you trusted whatever it was. An intuition, maybe it was God, maybe it was the universe or yourself. You trusted in yourself and you followed the footsteps, and it might have felt like luck, but then when you really feel into it,
I actually, yeah, I also worked a lot.
You created it.
I worked a lot on it. Like when I look back, like, you know, when you look back at your videos, I have like maybe like, I don't know, 16,000 videos in my phone or a computer. I trained so much. When I
Yeah.
look back, I'm like, I worked my ass to live the lifestyle that I want to promote. Like I sell a lifestyle. Like how can you live free and moving free and being confident and being in love with your life and being active. I live it, and I created it by living it. And
And now let me ask you, those 2000 videos you said you worked really hard in. Yes, I was working hard, but was it what you wanted to do?
oh yeah, that it never. This is why one time I was having a nice call with my coach at the time, my contortion coach, and she told me, you know what, you really worked so hard. And by her telling me that, it would really like made my heart so
Having
full.
mentors are so important. Having your own
She
coaches are so
was
important because while you're in
key,
these stages, on like
key.
any beginning stages, you can't see the picture while you're in the
No,
frame.
having a coach is a must. I always say
I
that.
have a coach for many different things. You have your own coaches. We are
Yeah,
coaches.
I could not never be where I'm at because the beginning is a forming moment and you need the guidance because it's too easy to get caught up in your head and like get confused and distract. There's too much distraction, especially nowadays.
And it doesn't mean you're weak if you have a coach. It actually means you're
No.
vulnerable and you're open to learning and you're open to
Yes.
becoming stronger. Even the greatest teachers, the greatest entrepreneurs in this world has a coach.
Yeah.
Joe Dispenza has his own coach. Tony Robbins has his own coach. Jay Shetty. They're not
They
just doing
all,
it by
yeah,
themselves. They have their own people, their own
of
things that are
course.
supporting them in staying at this level. And I know that for a fact. I'm not just guessing. Now, Sophia, what are 3 lessons that you want to share with someone watching this that you wish you learned?
That I knew before.
Yeah.
One thing that I would like to know before is that it will fucking work out. Like I wish
It will work out.
if I could take away all the unnecessary worries and anxiety that poison my day, because I have a very high tendency to get anxious and worried and not having the control. Because I mean, training is control of the body, so that gives me a lot of. I'm familiar with that type of control, but when it means to believe and trust, so I wish I would just let go of that fear. If I knew that all, it would really eventually work out.
So trust, let go of the fear. It'll all work out. What are 2 other things?
I wished I had coaches before. That I waited a lot. Like I waited a long time to get a coach because I'm a little stubborn and like I want to learn things on my own sometimes. Like I wish I got a dance coach. I wish I got because I learned to dance by myself. I learned so many things by myself. But like when it comes to contortion and fitness, I got coaches. But I wish I got coaches earlier.
So get support.
Yeah, don't wait till like, oh, I can figure this out. Like, it's a really good investment to hire a coach. Don't try to figure it out on your own because you're wasting a little bit of time and you're making unnecessary mistakes. Sometimes it's good to make a mistake and learn, but you already know what feels good. Just follow it. Sometimes I doubt it in the past. Like I was really wondering like if what I was doing was really like the right thing, but if it does feel good at the core, just follow it. Like don't listen to what other people say. Please don't listen to you should do follow this career, you should do that, you know, this is not a good choice. Don't listen to other people, please. Just you know better, you know what you want. Just follow your gut. You know best what's best for you. Don't let other people dictate what you should do or what's better. Like, oh, this is more.
Trusting your gut, get support, and it'll all work out. Wow. So for those of you watching this, highly invite you to write those 3 things down and take what you can from it and learn it. I'm so honored to have you on. I'm so grateful. I love her
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
She's such a big part of my life in so many ways. And it was so beautiful because we actually found each other. Like we were both on like the start of our like deep transformation
Oh
journey.
yeah,
Because
we're
we
totally not spiritual.
yeah, we've been doing this work, personal development, but we both met when we were both on our own separate like spiritual journeys. Like we both had like 2 different teachers, if you will, all kind of coming back to the same thing. And it was just so beautiful. And I remember this specifically. We were in this apartment on the floor dancing, of course. We were having a girls' dinner and
Oh yeah,
someone brought up Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habits of Being Yourself.
that was it.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I just ordered that book. And Sophia's like, what did you were like going to the retreat or
Yeah,
something?
like I was going to his retreat. Like,
I always used to think it's crazy, but actually, no, it's all supposed to happen. That's just living proof of you are what you attract. Thank you so much for joining. If
thank
you guys
you.
want to learn more about Sophia, please go check her out. Her Instagram is at OneFitnessRebel, and her Bendy Life page, which is her contortion coaching, the Instagram is at Bendy Life LLC.
Got it.
I have such good memory.
Good.
And these are her shirts. These are the new shirts. Okay, if you're watching this on
Yes.
YouTube, take a look. Okay.
You can wear. There's different pictures.
Yeah, there's different pictures.
Back.
I love how they cover the elbows, my dry ass elbows.
In the back, there's
Did you hear what I said? My dry ass elbows.
Yes.
I think I have eczema. I have to get that looked at. Yeah, the back has all the
All the
locations.
cities, the major cities where I've been teaching.
Yeah, she does
international.
retreats, she does coaching, she does all the things. So all the information will be in the show notes. If you guys want to see part 3,
Let us
let
know.
us know.
That's a lot.
I'd be happy to come back to Miami for you guys. All right, guys.
Bye,
Thank you so
guys.
much. See you in the next one.
Thank you.
Peace.